another video, sort of response to this guy again, Andy and his candy. Yeah, and that's all it really is, okay? It's the same old problem I've been arguing since almost the beginning on YouTube. My conflict with atheism, mostly, right? I mean, most of my videos have been about atheists behaving badly. You know, in the sense that their hypocrisy is showing all over the place. They profess a passion and a respect for science and the scientific method, but underneath it, they've got some kind of Yin Yang, yogi bogey bullshit running through their own perception of the world. They've accepted all these cliches of yin yangy, ringy bingy, you know. And Matt's a perfect example. I mean, he rational kid, and then he just went totally irrational because it became about what makes people feel good, not about what the truth is. The truth becomes irrelevant, and it's just find some way to make God mortal, make God Gaia, make God a plant, make God some other thing in the world, so you can make it reasonable. You know, take away the real puffs of smoke and fire, and you know, but still have bullshit, a big mountain of bullshit. And that's what this guy is about, okay? He doesn't care about what the truth of our existence is. He just cares about how we should psychologically endure it, okay? So this guy would be a great help to the slave owners, right? Because he could get everybody to just, okay, it's just the way things are, you know. This is the dilemma. If you recognize a problem, the problem is going to irritate you. It's going to bother you that the problem exists. And this guy just wants to talk you out of recognizing the problem. That's all it's about. It's about make it go away, so we can get on with our fun. And you know, whatever the premise that underlies that is this conclusion, I suppose, that they can't do anything about it, and so that gives them excuse. They can't prevent it from, I don't know what the right way to put it would be, but they can't prevent some sort of terminal fact, and so then they don't care about the consequentials up to that terminal event. They can discount that whole chain of thought. So if you don't believe progress is possible, yeah, then you can play this, let's just placate ourselves, bullshit game, because the future becomes irrelevant. And that's what I would argue that's behind this crap. But it's the same old shit. Let's do psychology on the internet and call it philosophy. Let's just fucking lie. Let's just lie to each other. Let's pretend, you know, and that's all. And or else it's just an overt religion, okay? I mean, he is obsessed with his concept of evening out, balance. These are words he uses all over the place. His notion of equal and opposite. This is the theme that just runs through his philosophy. It is yin yang all over the place. It's just Eastern bullshit philosophy that is just psychology. It has nothing to do with reality. There is no justice in the universe or fairness or evening out or any of that crap. And this is just kind of disgusting. So I'll play the ending of this one. There's some other video I wanted to respond to of his. I don't know whether it's on my browser, but we'll see where I end up. The comment sections are just amazing on some of these videos, so maybe I'll do some of that.
Away from ourselves is a reaction to the relentless light. If we just see the two as co-equal, that creates a situation in which everything is in balance.
See, I mean, it's all over the place. So, like, yeah, there's always a balance for the cancer. All right, my sister spent 4 years dying of cancer, leaving an orphan daughter. Well, semi-orphan. Yeah, and for what? Where's the balance? There's some balance to that? Oh, yes, of course, because then we have to feel good about it. And let's, well, there's no point in it. I mean, you could just go down the list of things that there's just no balance for them, shithead. There's no balance. There's no evening out. It's just nasty.
And there is no longer any need. There is no longer any desire. There is no longer any harm. Because because
Yeah, whatever. So this is people. You people are going to call this philosophy, right? There's no need, no desire, no harm. The constituents, the complete value constituents of our existence, and we've just now. Well, we won't even acknowledge them. We'll just talk some spiritual mumbo jumbo and call that atheism. Sorry, this is so fucking fail. And you know, you people are just you're fucking insulting your intelligence, and you're insulting the word atheist.
we see everything for what it is. Light is just light. It's neither good nor bad. Dark is just dark. It just is. It's neither good nor bad.
Right. So again, so he's just basically eviscerated the fundamental core of any individual's reality, in my opinion. I mean, you're just lying to yourself. You're saying, no, I don't feel good or bad. My suffering is not suffering. It's the same thing, okay? Chemotherapy and yummy chocolate cake, all the same thing. I mean, just what a fucking lie.
Harm just is. It's neither good nor bad.
Well, there you go. So harm, like we know what harms are, right? I mean, harms are damage to your psychological character, okay? Things that are unpleasant. It's not that complicated. And yes, some unpleasantnesses are specific to us. Like I could say the word fuck, and that causes some people harm. It causes them an unpleasantness. Ooh, scary word. So yeah, there's some subjective room in there. Some portion of harm will be defined by your individual character. You'll be offended by things I won't be offended by. They'll cause you harm. Even the background images are causing some people harm. But that's the subjective part. But we know the objective part is that yes, if I stick a knife in your eyeball, it's going to be universal. You're going to have a hard time. You could go through millions of people before you find somebody who says, oh, that's an interesting sensation. Yeah, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be fucking harm.
Harm's opposite just is. It's neither good nor bad. Everything in balance.
Yeah, whatever that. See, again, everything in balance. He didn't like the word balance. He liked the word evening out. But, you know, same thing. So what is this? So these are atheists, and they're just basically talking yin yang crap or something. Like somehow this all works out in the end, and we don't have to do the math. We don't have to be rational and logical about it. We'll just say it is. That's the way the universe knows what it's doing. The universe has one of them little whatever. Damn, I hate this. You know, this getting old thing really sucks. Amicus. You know, moving little balls over. The universe is doing that. The universe knows how to do math. No, I don't think it does.
That's why I say desire and revulsion, pulling something towards yourself or pushing it violently away, is essentially doing the same thing.
Oh, whatever. So your desire for chocolate cake is the same thing as your revulsion to the idea of being locked in chains and dragged off to a cell in a prison. No, I don't think so. You know, these mechanisms are different in the first place. Most of your fears, most of your apprehensions regarding harm are perfectly rational, okay, because you're basically trying to avoid negative experiences. And most of your desires are contrived inside of your passion-building body and relate to ego gratification, sexual gratification, which often are the same thing. Freud was right about a lot of that shit. And, you know, your material comfort, you know, right temperature, all that kind of crap. So one is contrived by your biological mechanism in that the desire is manifested out of it, and the other is a recognition, okay, of a potential danger. I mean, those are really different things. I mean, they really are. But no, we can't say they're different because the religion, the Yin Yang religion, says we're not allowed to. This religious kook says we can't do that. And you assholes are giving him 20 likes. Atheists are saying yes to Yin Yang bullshit.
Thank you.
Yeah, insincere Yin Yang bullshit. Let's get this straight again. This guy is playing games with people's psychology. He's not a philosopher. He's not a scientist. He's not a logician. He's a guy trying to convince you that all that matters is you feeling good. Okay? What doesn't matter is you being productive. And that's, you can't see the problem in that. You can't see how that is abhorrent to somebody who's supposed to care about reason and logic and science and information and intelligence and knowledge and wisdom. These people think this is how you be wise, is to fool logic, is to break logic, to break rationality. And you're applauding. Yeah, you're great atheists. Fail. 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 Yeah, okay, so let's see what else we can find. Yeah, it's really painful. Sigmund Freud, yeah, so this one has the great comments on it. So anyway, the only video he's responded to that I've seen is, so he responds to the deterministic one who basically just gives him the finger in the video. So so this is what he responds to say, oh look, I'm responding to my critics. Well, that's not exactly what you're doing. And he did write up this stuff, and he didn't respond to what's in the stuff. So, I mean, just, what a, you know, a horrid lie this is. I will give him credit, he does comment, but again, make a video response to some of your criticisms, some of the critics. Alright, so, yeah, you got lazy with this one, you're right there. Well, I guess I can conclude you're not going to ask me for life advice anytime soon. Yeah, see, exactly. He's giving life advice. That's what he's not talking philosophy on the internet. He's giving life advice. And the atheists think that's philosophy. Well, hope springs eternal, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into that one. Isn't that good reason not to worry? Why worry about the inevitable? See, this is what I'm... See? He's concluding that the truth doesn't matter because it's not going to be fun, and so just evade it. Just evade the truth. Just evade the fucking truth. So you're saying that we ought to worry about where we will be in 200 years. Well, yeah, see now you can't understand how insidiously stupid this is. You can't understand the logic of understanding that the future is bigger than the present. That there are literally millions or billions or trillions of presents in the future, and that if we build a good foundation now, if we build the boat right, it'll sail on that future, and if we build it wrong, it'll sink in that future. You can't understand a concept that fucking simple. That the thing that we should be worrying about is the future. That's what logic dictates. It's bigger than you. The future is bigger than you. You can't figure that out. You're going to give him 20 likes for a comment like that? Live now, fuck the future. That's what he just said. The needs of the many is bullshit. It's the needs of the one in the present that matters. That's his Spockian logic. And you applaud it? Fucking assholes. I think the idea of not coming in... well, anyway, no, it's a quote. Okay, I didn't say that we shouldn't care. Well, you just did, asshole. Why worry? Worry is a form of caring, shithead. If you're not worrying, you're not caring. That's just the way it works, shithead. Okay? If somebody's sick and I'm not worried, I'm pretty much not caring. We most certainly should. In a sense, the inevitability of death makes life more valuable and less worrisome. The inevitability of death makes life more valuable and less worrisome. I mean, this is the kind of logic that you're going to applaud. So you think death is really cool because it makes life less worrisome and more valuable. Enjoy it because it's short. Yeah, short relative to what? A mosquito lives 40 fucking days. But don't sweat it because it's not going to last. So again, his logic is, it's all over. Once you've done your thing and you've dumped your dioxin into the fucking lake, and you've poisoned the stream, and you've sewagized it, and done all your messes, you've greenhouse affected the world. It's not going to affect anybody else, right? There's not going to be anybody in the future to worry about, right? Because they're not you. So as long as it's not hurting you, it's okay. I mean, fuck you people. I know the unusual objections, I know the usual objections to this point of view, but it's just as valid as the POV that says we ought to be depressed about everything. Well, who is saying you ought to be depressed? No one is saying be depressed. But there is, unfortunately, if you're in Germany and you're living next door to the concentration camp, you've sort of got a reason to be kind of down. All right? I mean, and if you're an animal respecter and you're living next to a slaughterhouse, you've got a reason to be a little bit down because there's a problem. There is a problem. It's not a yin yang. There's no rainbow on top of the slaughterhouse that bleeds golden trinkets or something. Free trip to Las Vegas or whatever. I mean, no, it's just a nasty, horrid piece of shit that's stuck there in your reality. And so once you have knowledge of harm, and once you have knowledge of inefficiency and brokenness, and if you care, if you worry about the things that are going to be harmed by that, this is like it's just stupid. If I tell you there's a mad, crazy a steamroller loose in your city, okay, it's just running amok with crazy little googly eyes on it, you're going to worry. And you're not going to worry just because it might hit you, but because it might wipe out grandma. Or it might wipe out your brother and his 3 kids. And you're going to sensibly worry. You're going to try to resolve the problem. You're going to be distracted. You're not going to just sit back and continue to watch TV and say, oh well, yin yang and such. Dark, light, whatever, steamroller, beamroller. No, you're not. So this is you don't even live by this nonsense, and yet you'll preach it. It is just so disgusting. The less we procreate, the less humans there will be. Correct. The less we procreate, however, the less joy there will be as well. So again, we're back to this same old crap. The complete ignoring of Benatar's argument. Right, the same joy that's absent on Venus and Mars and Pluto and all the rest of the fucking universe. There's no joy on the sun, and I would bet not a single human being has wept for that lack of joy. But I'm certain that if we put somebody you care about in perpetual agony in the sun, you're going to be worried about it. You're going to be concerned. So he calls this a catch-22, that we have to sacrifice this joy that is completely unnecessary to avoid the harm that's completely unnecessary. Yep, it's that the whole point, really. So again, so he's just cut it back to, again, this balanced notion, and so that's apparently atheist philosophy, is to just assume everything works out for the best. So you have the same mindset that God creates, that ultimately there will be fairness and justice, and that we don't have to do anything. God will take care of it. The universe will take care of it. It knows what it's doing. Acquiesce. Just enjoy your life. Eat the cupcakes. Eat the cake. Okay? Fuck worrying about fixing anything. Brav the fucko. That's the value judgment that is not balanced out by most people's view of their lives. Suffering is imposed. Joy is insignificant in comparison. Good quote. That is a value judgment. Of course it's a value judgment. And it's one that you can't logically unravel. It's one you can't do anything with logically, so instead you have to do something with it with some sort of bullshit balance word. And there it's a balance word again. That is not balanced out by other people's view of their lives. So again, so as long as we have enough retards, let's just make a lot of retards, okay? And then the polling data for how great life is will get higher and higher. We can make life fantastic if 99 out of every 100 births are retarded. Then we just ask the retards, what is life like? And all the retards will go, yum, yum, good, good. And it'll be unanimous. It'll be a huge success. Life will be a huge success. um, merely because they said so. The retards. Most people's view of their life is not relevant. I don't know what that means. And who gets to decide whether or not it's irrelevant? I'd say they do. Do you disagree? Yes, I disagree. Of course I disagree. There's a truth. The drunk driver who just killed 5 people doesn't get to say, well, it's no big deal. I just had an accident, I would have had an accident anyway. No, they're not allowed to do that. We can logically say, fuck you. You're an idiot. Is there good reason to do anything or not to do anything at all? No, ones that are forced into existence will suffer harm. The ones that are forced into existence will suffer harm, yes. The harm that, had they never existed, they would never have had to suffer. So you're conceding that point. But it doesn't stop there. The potentials become actuals and then go back to being potentials. No, they don't do any of this stuff if you just stop creating them. Again, at death. No matter how enormous the joy, how profound the agony, it all gets utterly expunged. So again, this is stuff you're going to give 20 likes to. It all gets utterly expunged. He's used conclusively erased. He's used he talks about excess, everything in excess, and I think that's really excessive rhetoric. Utterly expunged. So it's like it never happened. So it doesn't matter how much harm you create, because whatever you harmed will die, and therefore, and all memory of it will be forgotten. So if you kill your rape victim, right, and her whole family, there was no rape, there was no harm. Because she's dead, they're all dead, they don't exist anymore, it's all been expunged. So yeah, it's free. Go ahead. Take. Because it's free, it's all expunged. Utterly expunged. As long as they're dead. Yeah, sorry. I'm supposed to make sense out of this. This is what you're gonna give 20 likes to some guy who basically says the Holocaust never happened. Fuck you assholes. Fuck you assholes. Fuck you assholes. The primary reason that you don't know the outcome, I'm afraid I do. Whoever I produce as prodigy will eventually die. So see that's his excuse. So he could have a kid with claw hands and be a terrible sufferer. And it's all okay because it's going to die. And so as long as it's going to die, he's not guilty of any crime. As long as his victim dies, he's not guilty. That's his logic. This is something you're applauding as a rational argument to antinatalism. Fuck you people. All the harm that ever inflicted upon them will be utterly erased. There it is again. I mean, utterly erased. And may as well never have happened. There you go. And may as well never have happened. So this is the premise upon which he is talking this mumbo-jumbo. And you're not going to call that a religion. The religion of erasure. Harm is overrated. At least if we go by Benatar's equation. Well, don't blame Benatar. He writes a whole book about what harm is, what suffering is. And now you're going to insult him by saying that's not what he wrote a book about. I mean, that's really grotesque behavior. He says all existing beings suffer harm, and bizarrely leaves it at that. Well, I mean, that's that for the equation, right? Because again, you can't be deprived. Okay? Only we can need. We are need machines. The equation is obvious. We are mess-making machines. You can use whatever analogy you want. But we make the need, and then we consume a portion of it back. And then say, look what we did. We resolved need. But we made the need in the first place. We make the fire. And then we put out a percentage of the fire and call ourselves hero. That's the stupidity and imbecility of our existence. Unravel that logic. He forgot about the great leveler. So okay, so let's just make this his God. He forgot about the great leveler that eradicates absolutely everything, good and bad. So again, it's all been erased. There's never a price for anything because all victims die and therefore they don't exist. Their pain never existed. The price was never paid. Bravo, great philosophy. That's so much better than the silly do unto others as you have others do unto you, God. So yeah, make more fun of crazy Christians when your philosophy is the harm never happened. Yeah, that's brilliant atheism. Just fucking brilliant atheism. Procreation is not a case of inflict harm just for the sake of inflicting harm, at least to me. What I'm pointing out is that by the Benatar formula, it is impossible to inflict harm before life. We are infinite. Before life, we are infinite. I mean, again, we're not infinite. No, we're so finite that we don't have an existence. We don't exist in our finitude. For finitude and beyond. After death, we are infinite. You know, again, see, this is... do you believe that? Do you believe that before we are born, that we are everything in the universe, or as much as the universe, or more than the universe, infinite? That we are everything? No, we're nothing. I mean, he's got completely backwards. This is completely backwards. Okay, in between is a finite. The fact that it is a thing in between doesn't make the other things infinite. It just means that this thing has a measure of time. There's nothing about our existence that's infinite. Nothing. Okay, complexity doesn't have infinite attached to it. And complexity has a lifespan. That's the way the universe works. That's science again. See, the science that you people are slandering with this nonsense, with this rubbish, with this guy you're applauding. This guy is abolishing science. And compared to what's on the other side, the finite is non-existent. And compared to what's on the other side, the finite is non-existent. So again, compared to what's on the other side, like there's another side. There is no other side. This isn't my crazy logic. It is the only possible conclusion from Benatar's mad musings. Well, again, that's not what Benatar says. He doesn't say anything about there being any infinity attached to non-existence. Julius Caesar is dead. Julius Caesar suffered harm, stabbed to death. Where is Julius Caesar or his harm right now? It's in a moment in the past. That's right. It's in a present that existed prior to this present existing. But all these presents, all these conscious experiences are conscious experiences. They all have meaning when the clock ticks on their point. They light up, they're there, and the record of them is the record. It is the historical record. It is the reality of the price paid for this thing to exist. You can't eradicate the price merely because time passes. It is the good Mr. Benatar, not I, who have brought the pre-living. Well, again, the pre-living isn't words he would ever use, and I'm just throwing in the post-living to keep things balanced, and he wouldn't use post-living either. So again, this is just, I mean, Benatar just talks about category changing. Okay, you move something from the could be to the will be kind of category change. Well, I think my reasons to do anything are just that, my reasons. Are you suggesting that someone else's personal life is your business? Well, of course, somebody else's personal life is my business if they're creating me. So, yeah, but wow, what a stupid cunt. Anyway, so let's see what else we can find here. I think there's more. Versus skeptical anti-theism, that ain't it. I thought I had another one loaded, but apparently I does not. Apparently. Alright, so I'll just go to, I'll go to this YouTube one here. Okay, we'll play the ending of this last video, where this is really where he just
all things in moderation, but I prefer to see it as nothing in excess.
Right, so you could even argue, nothing in excess. So the word itself says it all, right? Excess is already a word describing something too much of something. And his argument is that you can have too much logic, too much rationality, too much truth, too much adherence to rational principle. That's his actual argument, that it's being you can be something like excessively logical.
Don't take anything to excess. If you take a certain type of
you know, anything to excess. Again, what sense does it even make to give somebody that advice? Right? I mean, excess means too much. And you're just basically saying there's such a thing as too much truth, too much science, too much rationality, too much adherence to. That somehow, again, you should let your personal psychology dictate what you, what's right and wrong. So the religion of the stomach. Let your stomach be your guide.
Isn't to excess, then you end up in horrible logical blind alleys or traps even, like antinatalism.
Yeah, right. It's a trap how. Okay, yeah, well, you're not going to be able to articulate that. But again, yeah, there's no evidence of this, how the logical road is wrong.
It's a very difficult thing to debunk antinatalism, hence the fact that I've made 40 videos on it. But antinatalism and depression. Depression is also a very difficult thing to debunk, which is also why I've done so many videos.
Right, because, you know, and the very fact that you're trying to debunk it, you're trying to